unnecessary weight, it's also laughably bad at cutting. Cutting what a sword is supposed to do, unlike a club. Here are two different blade cross-sections. Guess which one has less resistance as it passes through a target and thereby cuts better? Yep, you got it. This is more of a bludgeon. Not that blunt weapons are not effective, they are, but why make a sword in such a way that you negate the main advantages that the sword has over an impact weapon? Swords are much more nimble, not as tiring to use, allow more technical finesse, and can disable unarmored opponents with cuts and thrusts to soft tissue, which is much more difficult to do with a blunt metal bar. Speaking of the handling characteristics of a sword, generally it has more mass in the hilt than in the blade, and the resulting balance is what makes it comparatively effortless to move quickly. But of course, you can overdo everything. If you slap a bunch of unnecessary extra parts on the guard and make it extra thick, you can give it the balance of an upside down hammer. Go ahead, grab a hammer or an axe like this and try to strike hard with it. It just doesn't have enough mass in the handle, i.e. the blade, to generate much force. At the same time, your opponent can use leverage against you more easily if the blade is that light compared to the hilt. In case of a dedicated thrusting weapon like a rapier, that's not a problem, but something like this is clearly intended for cutting, and that just wouldn't work very well. In short, an extremely bulky guard doesn't do much aside from adding weight where it doesn't benefit you, but rather does the opposite. Large guards are good if they actually serve to protect the hand and are not thicker and thereby heavier than needed. And then there's this. If I tried to point out everything that's wrong with it, I'd be here all day. Instead, how about a fun experiment? Take a sword or a stick, tape a knife or dagger or whatever similar pointy object you have to it so that the pokey bit is facing you. Then figure out how safe it would be to swing that thing around. The same applies to a wide variety of spikes, gigantic serrations, and arbitrary geometric shapes plastered all over vaguely sword-like objects. If it has one or more sharp points or corners that are aimed at the user, it's probably not the most brilliant idea. But even the ones that are facing the opponent can be problematic. Have you ever tried cutting a piece of rubber or foam with a coarse-toothed saw? It may look impressive and nasty, but a plain edge may actually slice deeper.